Here are some examples of using the laws of logarithms. The laws of logarithms. Okay. All right. First of all, the laws of logarithms help us to expand one logarithm into two or more simpler logarithms. Here's an example. Say we have the log of x times the quantity x minus 1. Well, this is a log of a product, since that's x times x minus 1. Whenever you have a log of a product, you can write that as the sum of two simpler logs. This is equal to the log of x plus the log of x minus 1. Notice that the parentheses here is optional. We understand that it's a function, and this means the log of x. The parentheses here is not optional, because without those parentheses, we couldn't tell if it was the log of x minus 1 or just the log of x minus 1. We mean the log of x minus 1, and so we include those parentheses. Here's another quick example of how we can use the law of logarithms. Sometimes we may want to condense an expression that has more than one log in it into an expression that only has one log. To do that, sometimes we can reverse the law of logarithms and see if what we end up with is easier. In this case, we have the sum of two logs. So that could be written as the log of a product. The log of 2 plus the log of 5 is the same as the log of 2 times 5. That is the log of 10. You remember that when we do not indicate the base, that means that by default the base is 10. That's called the common logarithm. So since the base is 10, this logarithm is asking, what do we need to raise 10 to get 10? Well, you raise 10 to the first power to get 10, and so the answer is 1. That means that log of 2 plus the log of 5 is equal to 1. Here's another example of simplifying using the laws of logarithms. In this example, we will do several of the laws in the same example. How about the natural log of a squared over b squared times the square root of c? Well, I see this as a quotient, and whenever I have a quotient, I can write that as the difference of two simpler logs. So this is the same as ln of a squared minus ln of b squared times the square root of c. Now, here there is a law of logarithms that lets us take an exponent that's in the logarithm and bring it to the outside and make it the coefficient. So the natural log of a squared is the same as 2 times the natural log of a. Over here, let's use the law of logarithms that deals with products to write this as minus, this is a necessary parentheses, the natural log of b squared plus the natural log of the square root of c. We can still simplify some of these. So we have 2 times the natural log of a minus, then since we have a square inside of the log, we can bring that to the outside, 2 times the natural log of b, plus, remember that the square root of c is really the same thing as c to the 1/2 power. So we can bring that 1/2 to the outside, and we have ln of c. This is a fully expanded version of the original. And in many problems, working with this is much nicer than working with this.